What's up, and welcome back to Joygasm, where we talk about video games, movies, and pop culture. I'm Russ, Xbox Live Toaster 360, and with me is Steve, Xbox Live Stevavitch, as we start episode 61 today, March 3rd, 2018. To get the most out of Joygasm, you can follow us on social media. In addition to iTunes and Android, you can listen to our podcast on TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.com/JoygasmTV. Also, for exclusive access and some pretty sweet goodies, check us out at Patreon.com/Joygasm. And no matter which platform you use to enjoy the show, please show us some love. Everyone likes a little love every now and then. We have quite the fun show for all of you lovely listeners out there today. We actually do not have any gaming news, but that's okay because we have plenty of movie news to go through, including a certain director's birthday, Avengers Infinity War getting a release date, a Highlander reboot, James Gunn clarifying the state of Groot, which kind of caused a bit of a breaking of the internet for a day, Kevin Smith suffering a heart attack, and new trailers for Wreck-It Ralph 2 and The Incredibles 2. In technology news, good old Steve is going to cover the rumored lineup of next-gen Apple iPhones. Our topic of the day is the new Overwatch character impressions, but first things first.
What
is up?
Well, Russ, spring is nearly sprung. We're getting a little hot air. We're getting a lot of fresh, clean smelling, just rinsed, washed air.
That's right.
And the bugs are coming out, starting to get bit a little bit here and there.
A little nibbled.
Mm-hmm.
I do taste tasting of the menu.
I do taste good. That's what I hear, Russ.
Oh my!
I mean,
you have lots of conversations with the bugs.
Yeah, I do.
You are one with the insects.
They sing to me, Russ. They sing to me.
My goodness.
We have a special relationship. I try to kill them, and they try to feed. Together.
They're trying to. It's a very circle of life kind of thing. You're either trying to get eaten or you're getting killed.
I'm a walking ecosystem.
Spring is definitely in the process of being sprung. I am very much looking forward to seeing the grass finally turn green again. It's been dormant.
It's been brown.
It's been kind of almost gray for quite a long time, so I'm looking forward to it to come back.
When you walk on the grass, it doesn't like mush underneath your feet; it crunches.
Yes,
it's not good.
Yeah, it's a little depressing, but it will make its triumphant return as it always does.
Indeed.
So, what have you been up to?
Well,
you're a sight for sore eyes.
Am
FYI. FY to the eye.
FY to the eyeball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. What have you been playing? What have you been watching?
Russ, let me think about it here, Russ. Okay, well, I will tell you. Well, I mean, you already know what I've been playing.
I have a general idea.
You have a hinkling?
A inkling, almost, if you will.
So I've been trying to catch up on some of the Oscar nominations. But I'm restricted to snail mail.
Yes, you are a fan of the old relic ways.
Yes, indeed. Well, Netflix doesn't really give you a choice. If you want all the current stuff, you got to get snail mail. If you don't really care about the current stuff, hey, stream it. But I want to get the snail mail. So I rented Roman J. Israel Esquire. That's the
Denzel Washington movie?
Sir, yes, sir. He is nominated for Best Actor, and Best Actor he was.
You were impressed?
Well, yes.
Mightily so?
He did good in the movie, but he was the saving grace. The movie didn't really go anywhere. So
the movie didn't go anywhere or do anything.
He did great. It was scripted okay, but he definitely did a good part. Denzel is definitely very, very confident in every film he's in.
Yes.
And he is different.
Agreed.
Right. So I don't know if the movie's for everybody, but if you're a fan of Denzel, you'll like it. And he did good. He definitely deserves a nomination for this one.
Well, good.
So that's gone back in the mail. I should get something pretty soon here, Russ.
What are you expecting or anticipating?
I'm expecting what is it? Three billboards in Missouri.
3 blind mice. Yeah. That's what I'm expecting. I've heard a lot about the frying pan. That old woman just sounds Not very nice.
I'm on this nursery rhyme kick.
It's the latest craze in all of Hollywood. It's trending that way.
Oh, so I should get. I think of that one. I might be wrong, but I'm getting all the Oscar stuff coming in the mail. So I will have more to report. But I did notice that I hadn't finished the BBC series of The Last Kingdom. I was stuck on season 2.
The Last Kingdom.
The Last Kingdom.
Oh my.
So-
what exactly does it chronicle?
It covers the Saxon tales, Russ. The beginning of England.
Ah, yes. The foundation, the catalyst. Anglo to the Saxon.
Anglo to the saxophone. So, anyway, that the second season started off kind of like, that's why I stopped watching it for a while. But the rest of the season was good. I mean, I watched the whole entire thing this whole week. So,
wow.
Yeah, they did good. And they left it open for a third season. I think they should definitely consider bringing the third season out.
Would you recommend that I check it out?
Maybe. The only reason why...
A resounding maybe.
Because you are a fan of Vikings.
Oh, yes.
The show Vikings.
Very much.
So the reviews that I've read, some people they're like, yeah, okay, Vikings is the better show. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
So, anyhow, what else have I watched? I think that's about it. Just been playing my fair fix of Overwatch.
As well you should.
And I think what is it? The Chinese New Year.
Ah, yes.
Stuff.
Year of the dog.
The year of the puppy. Mm-hmm. The year of the bow wow.
Year of the quadruped.
The wolf.
The bow wow.
The friendly four-legged companion.
Man's best friend.
The year of man's best friend. I like that.
Yep.
That ended, Russ.
I thought you said it ended on Monday.
By the time people are going to hear it,
yes,
it's going to have ended. Okay, are you picking up what I'm throwing down?
I smell what you're stepping in.
So if I don't get what I'm hoping for with Genji, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. I want that.
I know that you have been.
Yeah, I've been talking about it.
You've been talking about it. You've been eyeballing it.
Yes.
Which is really interesting because you never play as Genji.
Right. I'm learning. He's actually fun, but I can't do him quite yet. Mm-hmm. My aim's not that good with the ninja stars.
I have faith in you, Steve.
I can't do the ninja stars yet, Rose.
Oh, yes, you can.
But I tell you, I want to learn how he yells out what he's doing with his dragon blade. I want to learn that. I'm going to do that for Halloween one day. Everybody's going to be like, oh, I know what that is.
You should reach out to either Maiko or Daichi.
I should.
I'll bet you they could easily help you out there. Or you know what? You just go to your friend Google. Just Google it up and they probably will have it spelled out there for you.
There you go. What about you, Russ? I see you want to tell me something.
Oh, I have a lot of things I want to tell you, Steve.
Do
I really do, indeed. So I am particularly I don't know.
Just what, Russ?
Particularly,
oh man,
just filled with gratitude.
Just something, apparently.
Filled with gratitude, Steve. And I'll tell you why.
You almost hit me in the face. Just now with a 5-finger face punch.
So we got something in the mail.
Oh,
from a fan of Joygasm. So, it's really, really cool. So there is a wonderful person who's actually a patron of ours on the Joygasm Patreon site.
Our patrons.
Who actually contacted me, asking for my address. He's like, I have something that I want to send you and Steve. I was thinking, oh, okay.
Mostly me than you? More me than you? Or just...
To both of us.
No,
Steve, it's a share toy. Gosh. But anyway, I was a little curious. I was like, oh, well, here you go. And so it arrived. And I got to show you. I have it hidden right now. I'm pulling it out from underneath.
Okay. It looks like it's something with words and oh, that's cool.
It's the Overwatch Anthology Volume 1.
Isn't that nice?
Made by Dark Horse Comics. And just super cool. Like, I opened it up, I'm like, what the heck? And PJ, who is responsible for sending that over, it's PJ and his son Trenton. Apparently, Trenton is a big fan of the show, as is PJ, and they wanted to just send us a token of appreciation regarding how much they enjoy the show. And
thank you.
Yeah,
I'm very appreciative.
I was just really blown away by that. I was like, wow, thank you so much. And so it's got like, I don't know if it has every character in there represented with the comic itself, but I texted him back once I received it and just said, hey, is this from you? And he proceeded to say yes, and that he and his son look forward to every episode of Joygasm, and that they especially love listening to our segments on Overwatch. So they just wanted to send that our way, and so a big hearty thank you is in order, I believe. I think little things, it's little tokens like that just, I think, put wind in the proverbial sails. Because I don't know about you, but like that kind of thing, it just makes me want to do even better.
Matter of fact, that's almost the opposite way of how Patreon's supposed to work. Because we set this site up for you guys to give us stuff.
It is. It's pretty interesting. With that kind of thing, but I mean, how awesome is that?
That's pretty friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
if I'm honest. That's wow. I don't know what to say. I mean, stuff like that, you know, there obviously there's a price tag to it, but when receiving something like that, you can't put a price on.
You really can't. I mean, like there's just things like that are just. I even mentioned to him too. It's pretty seldom when we get feedback. I think that's one of the biggest things for us for the show is just we're always curious to get feedback from our listeners, from our fans, and we don't really get that very often at this point in time. And so oftentimes you and I are just kind of in the dark, like, well, I hope they like this. We could talk about this, or are they liking it? Or are they not? Like, what's the deal? And so, and granted, we do have certain folks who do leave little nuggets of feedback, and we totally just soak that in and try and make adjustments where necessary. And so, yeah, I mean, just, all right. That's, yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm all smiles over here.
I can see that.
Anyhow, I wanted to get that first and foremost talked about, just because I think that is a pretty swell gift. Anyway, I have also been playing the competitive Overwatch CTF, and that has become probably my favorite game mode currently within the game itself. You and I have been playing that quite a bit. I achieved the silver ranking like I figured I would, but I'm making my way slowly but surely to gold. No thanks to you.
You're like, yeah, I got a couple of green check marks. I'm like, good, okay, this will be easy, Russ. We're used to capture the flag. This is gonna be fun, okay? And it's like, oh, there's another red X. There's another red X. Okay, 3 losses in a row. Like,
it's like Steve had already gotten his competitive thing done. He got his golds, and he's like, man, they got the flag again. I'm like, dude. It was like win, loss, win, 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 loss, 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 win, loss, win. I think that's what it was. And so it looked like chicken pox or something on my TV screen. Anyway,
chicken pox or teenage acne, one of the two.
Yeah. It's amazing how closely those two just coincide. Anyway, what's interesting to me about the new competitive mode of CTF itself is just kind of the notion of how certain things have changed. And I've talked about this in the previous episode where I was describing my surprise as to how they changed some of the gameplay mechanics up. And I gotta say, now that I've played it a little bit more, I'm starting to like it. I think I'm liking the updates and the changes where you don't have to sit on the flag in order to charge it before you can take it. Either way, I mean, even that was actually kind of working there for a while, but yeah, overall, I've been enjoying that. I've also been getting back into Narcos.
Oh, it's about time.
Yep, I'm on season 3. Just finished up. I think it was either episode 2 or episode 3. But it's definitely one of my current favorite TV shows on Netflix, and looking forward to seeing what else goes on in the third season. You know, Steve, in a completely unrelated gaming and movie update as to what I've been up to exactly, I've been having some hearing issues.
Oh, here we go.
And so it's been interesting. I don't know if it's the allergies in Texas or what exactly it is, but
I think what you're about to say, Russ,
what
is going to be interesting and gross at the same time. Proceed.
It's probably good. Yes. Yes. It's going to be one of those you don't want to hear about it, but yet at the same time, you can't wait to hear what's around that next corner.
I'm really curious, but I'm not at the same time, but I can't turn the volume down.
So, as of late, I would say the past several months, whenever I wake up in the morning, I've been noticing that my right ear has been kind of struggling with the actual ability to hear. And so, like, I'll wake up and I'll be like...
main function?
Yeah. The main purpose of having an ear. And it's interesting because, like, I would wake up and I'd have like 50% hear loss out of my right ear, but then once I got out of bed and I like blew my nose and like hawked a loogie or whatever,
and anything else, Russ?
Yeah, there's just all kinds of stuff. But basically, like, once I was up and about, then all of a sudden
burped a couple times,
sharded. My hearing would eventually come back, and so I was thinking, oh, okay, well, that's good. But what was weird is, like, my wife has started complaining that, like, I've been snoring over the past year, which is not typically what happens in the past. Like, I'm not like a snorer kind of guy, and so I
started to develop this bruise on my ribs for some reason. I don't get it. Why was that? Pure, shut up.
Yeah, getting elbowed by the wife at night.
Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. So it progressively started getting worse, where, like, I'd wake up in the mornings and all of a sudden, like, there would be absolutely zero hearing ability from my right ear. I would wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's not like it's totally different from being sick. Like, when you're sick and your head's clogged, you know, you get a little bit of a hearing loss thing going on. I literally could not hear a thing out of my right ear. And so
it's quiet, a little too quiet.
It was, bizarre. And then it developed into something else where, when I was at work, all of a sudden, everybody started to sound like a distorted robot. It was the weirdest thing. Like, the closest thing I could describe it would be like that droid from Return of the Jedi when they're at Jabba's palace and C-3PO and R2-D2 are kind of getting processed, and there's that droid who's asking what their abilities are and that sort of thing. And he did the whole thing like, you know, you are a protocol droid, are you not? Like that particular character. Even my voice started sounding like that. And that lasted for like 3 days. And so it started becoming disconcerting. I'm thinking, I've never heard this type of situation with my ears before, ever. And then the night of the third day, I actually was woken up from a dead sleep to have, oh man, like, I mean, it like woke up and my right ear like had the loudest, shrilliest, like, I mean, it was just like it's one thing like if you go to a concert and then your ears have like a kind of faint ringing in the background after you got back from like an AC/DC concert or something. This was different. This was like super loud. Like, even if I tried to muffle it with the pillow, it got even louder.
Like 10,000 mosquitoes were buzzing right next to your head.
Oh, man. Like, I was just, what? At that point, I was thinking, oh, my gosh. Like, I wonder if I'm going deaf. I wonder if I'm like, this is like this is it. I'm going to say goodbye to my right ear, and it's going to be gone for good and everything else. I just didn't know what was going on. And so that ringing lasted from like 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. I mean, I'm talking hours of this stuff. So finally, I'm like, okay, I got to go to an ENT doctor. I need to find out what is going on. Because in addition to that too, I had like this pressure in my head and like I suspected it was probably due to sinus pressure or something along those lines, maybe a sinus infection. I don't know. But I just kept thinking that it had to do with something that was just an allergy related situation. So anyway, go to the ENT doctor and am describing these different symptoms and whatnot to him. So he decides to take, of course, well, take a look at your ear. Go figure. So he looks in there.
I am going to take a look at your ear. Well, thank you. I drove 5 hours to come and see you. Please take a look.
So he looks in there and he's like, oh, you got some wax in there. Let me try and get that out. And so he takes this syringe filled with some sort of warm solution stuff and just, squeezes this into my ear. And so then all of a sudden I go completely deaf again. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and bear it. And the dude pulls out this little specialized vacuum cleaner thing and starts just slurping up all this stuff from my
so
ear.
Nasty. Okay, let's see what we can get out of your head.
I will say, the man was very genteel with my ear as he was doing the old suckage.
Did he have your head in a headlock? Yeah.
We're getting in. Hold on a second.
What's happening in that doctor's room?
Anyway, needless to say, when he was done, he was pulling out globs, gum stopper size, just globs of wax. It was disgusting.
If Gumby was in my head, he was getting pulled out by this vacuum. If silly putty ever existed in the human body, it was getting pulled out of my head. So gross.
It was so gross. I was totally apologizing to the doctor, and he's like, "Oh no, I love this. I love my job. This is what I live for.
I love your wax.
Yeah.
You kidding me? I have mannequins and statues in my house made of just your wax."
He starts rubbing himself. Oh yeah.
He's got lit candles in his doctor's office of earwax, out of Shrek or something.
I walk in why are all these candles lit? He's like, well, now you know where they come from.
It smells musty in here for some reason.
So anyway, once he finished that, all of a sudden I had pristine hearing. It was amazing. Like even to this day, I have HD audio coming out of these ears. It's just the craziest thing. And he was talking about how just the different frequency issues that I was describing has to do with the fact that when you have a bunch of wax that are just stuck in there, the way mine was, that that can actually seriously affect the way the eardrum interprets sound.
Yes, Russ.
It sounds very simplistic, but to me, it just went going through those things and hearing the things I heard. I was thinking that it was more of a eardrum specific issue itself, like it was on its last legs or something.
Well, think of it like this. If I was to cover up my microphone with my hand, you would still hear me, but not as much.
Oh, there you go.
It's the same thing with your eardrum.
When you put it like that. When you put it like that.
That's right.
It makes a lot of sense.
I should have been a doctor.
Dr. Steve.
Hey, next.
Let me look into your eyeballs. But my throat hurts. Anyway, I felt compelled to tell that story, and now that I have thoroughly grossed out all of our listeners, the reason why I wanted to tell that story was in case anybody goes through this, do that thing first, because I was Googling just to see what people had to say. And whenever you Google medical questions, it's always the worst case scenarios that you read. And so then I was getting freaked out because they're like, oh,
you have cancer.
Yeah. Whatever, just whatever it is. You have Ebola. You're like, what?
What?
And so,
oh no.
Just in case someone out there globally is having the same kind of issue that I'm having, I would say it's probably a good idea to be able to go and, get a little vacuum cleaning action, a little spring cleaning,
Russ,
if you will, with your ears.
How about people, Joygasm health tip here, Russ, just wash out your ears every once in a while.
Steve,
okay?
I do that. I do that.
Maybe not good enough.
Maybe not. You never know.
Anybody seen the Dyson? Well, Russ had it last. I don't know what he was doing. Oh, I can hear again. You guys gotta try this.
It was just so good. Well, anyway. Other than that,
moving right along.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go to the next chapter. I was playing some more Horizon Zero Dawn.
You know what'd be funny? Sorry, if you walked out of the doctor's office and you're like, "Oh, by the way, get that termite issue fixed." He's like, "Huh? Termite? Like, yeah, you have termites. I can hear them collectively.
Yeah.
Right here on the wall. Yeah.
I can hear something. Yeah, I make the joke about how now I can like hear ants moving on a surface because it's just, it's like if someone's talking to me, I'm like, shh, keep it down. Quiet, gosh, you're so loud. Anyway, to top things off of what's been new with me, I've been continuing my journey through Horizon Zero Dawn DLC and been really enjoying that as well. So, unless there's anything else that you can think of, Steve, I say we get started in movie news.
Well, I can think of a lot, Russ, but in the sake of time, movie news it.
Okay. So to kick things off, Ron Howard had a birthday. Ron Howard is, well, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna just spoon feed you. How old do you think Ron Howard is?
I would say about 62.
Whoa, pretty close.
Okay.
The man is 64.
Ah, okay.
So it's hard to believe, but the same guy that we saw back in the happy days is approaching quickly the senior citizen status.
Don't ever tell anybody that, Russ. You'll get a Swick.
Swick?
You'll get a Swiffer. You'll get a Swift slap in the face if you tell that to the wrong person. Oh, hi, how you doing? Oh, you're that age? You're almost a senior citizen. Oh yeah? How about you? Now who's more healthy?
Look at it this way. You can order off a senior discount menu. The Avengers Infinity War movie has an official release date. Steve, do you know what that date is?
June 7th.
No.
October 10th.
No.
Then I'm probably gonna go, I don't know, Russ. Tomorrow.
Steve, I've got some good news for you. It's actually ahead of schedule.
Oh.
It was originally anticipated to come out sometime more in the summer time frame. And now instead, the official release date is April 27th.
Oh, snap. That's next month, son.
That's right. We're going to need to pre-order those tickets as well. All of you lovely listeners should as well, the instant it comes out, because that is going to be an extremely hard to come by ticket. Everybody's looking forward to it. It's probably one of the biggest movie events, not only of the year, but pretty much of the last 10 years since Marvel got itself into the cinematic universe.
I hope they're not rushing anything there.
No. I think that what's actually really cool about that is the fact that the movie itself is ginormous. You have all these different characters. You have tons of special effects, and you would expect the opposite to happen, really, where like they would delay it because there's just too much to do. The scope is too large. I'm impressed. The fact that they're able to do that, because regardless of when they decide to drop that movie, all the other studios are going to get out of the way. Like, everybody knows that when this movie comes, like, you would be pretty, let's say, mistaken to try and launch one of your movies at the same weekend that Avengers drops, because everybody's going to be seeing Avengers.
I wonder if Black Panther drew any new fans to the Marvel Universe.
Oh, you know they did.
Because that they probably had that in their mind when they released both movies.
And it makes sense. Just because Black Panther being released in February, then they wait, another couple of months or so, and then suddenly they get to see Black Panther again. Only this time, he's hanging out with the Avengers.
But on good terms this time.
That's right. The Highlander movie reboot moving ahead with new script from Rampage writer. Deadline reports the film is finally heading to start pre-production later this year after receiving the script, which retells the epic story of the immortal battle for supremacy, in which there can only be one. There can only be one.
I remember the Highlander back in the day. It was okay. It was
fun.
It was fun, but it was not like terrific.
I thought it was pretty cool. It was fun for its time period. Certain ones were better than others. I think my favorite was Highlander 2.
The guy who played when they made Mortal Kombat, the guy who played Raiden, was the actor in the Highlander movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct, you are.
Indeed.
James Gunn clarifies again that Baby Groot is Groot's son in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is actually something that my wife actually turned me on to that I had no idea. I thought it was the same Groot, but I was mistaken. James Gunn has confirmed that the original Groot is totally dead, effectively breaking the internet for a day. Apparently, he's said this previously. Gunn recently clarified in a tweet that Baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is Groot's son, not a baby version of a clone of Groot himself. Quote, "First Groot is dead," wrote Gunn. "Baby Groot is his son." Yeah, I had no idea. I did not know that was Groot's son. I mean, that's very different from like him it being like a clone of Groot or something to that effect. But actually, talking to some of my lovely nerdy friends, they actually knew that. They were like, "Yeah, you didn't know that?" I was like, "No, I didn't know that."
No, sorry guys. Am I still in the group?
Yeah, am I still cool enough to hang out with you?
Am I still in the circle?
Circle of trust. Kevin Smith survives massive heart attack. Smith went to the hospital after his first time doing a stand-up routine due to a heart attack. He posted the following on Twitter, quote, "After the first show this evening, I had a massive heart attack. The doctor who saved my life told me I had a 100% blockage of my LAD artery, aka the Widowmaker. If I hadn't canceled show number 2 to go to the hospital, I would have died tonight, but for now, I'm still above ground." The doctor told Smith he had 100% blockage in his left anterior descending, which is what the LAD stands for, artery. Heart attacks involving LAD blockage are nicknamed Widowmakers for their high likelihood of resulting in sudden death. So glad to hear that he went to the hospital and he's still alive and kicking, because that would be a very unnecessary and tragic loss for all of the nerds and geeks around the world.
I'll say, no kidding, man.
The final 2 things I have in here for movie news involves us getting our first impressions of the Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Incredibles 2. So I'm going to fade down the music here and we're going to take a little listen/watch of. Now, you haven't seen these yet, have you?
No, Russ. I figured you would you'd show me on the show.
Oh, well, I'm glad, Steve. All right, so here is Wreck-It Ralph 2. Let's do a first-time impression of this. Are you ready, Steve?
No, I'm not. Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get you plugged in.
Whiffy, or is it wifey?
Why don't we just go in?
And we are online. Whoa, cool.
Ralph, isn't that great? We are going to the internet!
Super excited. Just one minor thing. What is the internet? Oh, holy cow. Look at all this stuff.
Congratulations, you're a winner!
Really?
These 10 child stars went to prison. Number 6 will amaze you.
That sounds interesting.
Ralph, come on!
Redirecting to eBay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next item up, a black velvet painting of a sorrowful kitten.
It's like it's looking into my soul.
Yeah, that one's really gonna haunt me for a while.
Whoa, games.
Pancake. Milkshake.
Out of my way, kid.
Pancake. Milkshake. Milkshake. I'm starting to understand why people like this game. Very zen. Milkshake.
Hey, look what I found! More pancakes!
Let's speed it up.
Pancake. Eat, little bunny. Eat.
Ralph, you might want to try feeding the kitty for a little while.
No, the kitty gets the milkshake. The bunny gets the pancake.
I gotta say that the that little game that the little girl was playing,
Right.
My daughter plays something that's very much the same thing. So they're definitely acting on that. What'd you think of that?
Well, I never saw the original Wreck-It Ralph, so I don't know really the basis of what this is trying to say, but it looks cute. It didn't look really that funny.
The jury is still out for me on that one. I have seen the first Wreck-It Ralph, and it was actually really good. It was based on just the video game world. And Wreck-It Ralph himself was playing kind of this older arcade 80s video game character, and then he suddenly is thrust into this world, and actually was great because the producers of the film got all the different gaming developers to like use and leverage their characters. So you saw like Sonic the Hedgehog and the whole cast of Street Fighter and Mario and like just
that's cool.
Everybody in there. It was really fun. You should check it out. Actually,
check it out, Russ.
Put it on your Netflix there, Steve.
I will, Russ.
But anyway, I'm gonna keep a positive outlook on that movie just because the first one was so good, and this one, the trailer itself was kind of like, okay, we're going into the internet, and what's going to happen? I think that it's a good setup, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm kind of like you, like it didn't look exactly funny. I did like the last part though with the little app that the girls playing and them getting in there. I thought that was pretty fun.
Might give people some sort of a reality check of, hey, the internet is kind of sucky at times, and maybe not a place for kids.
Agreed. All right, let's check out the Incredibles 2 trailer that just dropped recently.
Behold the Underminer!
Watch out for Jack. I thought we were gonna go.
You heard your mother. Trampoline me. We meet again.
Superheroes are illegal.
We want to fight bad guys. It defines who I am.
We're not saying you have... What?
Someone on TV said it.
I was approached by this tycoon. Wants to talk about hero stuff.
Help me bring supers back into the sunlight. We need Elastigirl.
Bye, sweetie.
I'll watch the kids, no problem.
That's not the way you're supposed to do it, Dad. They want us to do it this
I don't
way.
know that way. Why would they change math? Math is math. Math is math. All over Dusseldorf. Doozles are dozing. Their eyelids so heavy, they're drooping. Close it!
I couldn't have done this if you hadn't taken over so well.
I've got to succeed so she can succeed. So we can succeed.
I get it, Bob. What the? That is freaky.
But I can't keep giving him cookies.
How? He's freaky.
Nobody and a daddy.
What?
Done properly, parenting is a heroic act. Done properly.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I'm totally on board.
I think Pixar's back with that one.
Well, and it took them so long. I
know.
mean, when it comes to the Incredibles, the first Incredibles, I think, came out like at least 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, easy.
I mean, that's just amazing how I can't believe it took them this long. I'm glad that it looks like they're just resuming where the last one left off. It had was it Underminer or Undertaker? Anyway.
I think it's the
very
Underminer.
Cool. The Underminer, you say.
Because he was the villain that got popped up out of the ground with his big drill.
Yeah, he was like some mole-looking character. Yeah, the Underminer. That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. So yeah, definitely got a better impression of that. Incredibles 2, I think we're both pumped for. I think that's going to be a fun one that we get to review on the show when that finally comes out. Wreck-It Ralph is still a bit on the potential list, but I think we need to see another trailer to be sold on it.
I think so, Russ.
Well, let us actually segue over to some technology news. I think Steve's got something for us regarding Apple's new approach to their iPhones.
So, as we were talking about last time, not last time. Later last year, Russ.
Late last year,
Apple had a problem about all this info starting to leak out everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they still have a problem with it.
They have a problem with leakage.
So, okay, this is just rumored, so it's nothing true yet. There's no models, there's no definite answers here. But what's basically happening is that Apple is using the design of the iPhone X, the iPhone 10, the iPhone crisscross design with the seamless screen. And so the iPhone 8 with the button stuff is rumored to be going away.
Okay.
They're going to have a regular sized iPhone, which would be like the iPhone X size. They're going to have the Plus version of that. And then they're going to make an even larger version upon that, right?
Even larger. So
Even
like
larger.
phablet size
Right,
larger or what?
True. Yes, but I will tell you that phablet is actually a Samsung term, Russ.
Oh.
You can use it for this. I'll give you that one. But yeah, basically what's happening is more people are using their phones for everything they do, and their tablets less. Hence, the people wanting bigger phones. And people are way more attracted to bigger screens on these phones than they are to smaller screens.
Really?
Yes, even though there still is a market for it. So Apple a couple years ago brought out the 5 SE, which was basically like an iPhone 6, but in the chassis of a 5.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. So it was, some of the features were not there. But it was essentially like the camera was an iPhone 6, the processor was an iPhone 6. It was just in a small little bundle, so you can throw it in your pocket. And people who weren't like on board or on ship with the bigger smartphones, like seniors, for example, they just want something easy to use that was cheap and inexpensive. Well, there you go. Here's the 5 SE. Wow. So that's basically what's going to happen with the smallest of the phones is not going to have all the latest features. It's going to have, and all the features aren't even released yet, so I can't atone to what those are, Russ. But the smallest phone is going to have the same processor that the other two phones are going to have, but it might not have like the facial recognition, or it might not have the best material.
So some of the features will be stripped out of the smaller one.
Correct. But basically what's also happening is, and we talked about this, the phones altogether, if you don't get them on a plan, you just buy them outright, they're crazy expensive. You're talking, $1,000 plus for these phones if you go in there and buy them outright. A lot of folks can't do that. That's why AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile and Sprint and whoever, they finance their phones. So overall, when we see these new phones come out, they're not going to be as expensive as they were last year.
Okay.
The prices are going to be reduced. The new phablet size phone, that one will still be in excess of $1,000, but we're going to be able to have a regular size, like a 5-inch, 5.8-inch iPhone X looking phone, a Plus version of that phone, and then a jumbo sized version of that phone.
Right.
So we shall see. But
what's your opinion? Sorry to interject here, but what's your opinion of like the phablet thing? Like, just it's basically, my understanding is that it's kind of the size is in between a typical phone and a tablet.
Yeah, it's like, it's about half the size of an iPad mini.
Okay. So I don't know if I'd want that. I have the iPhone 6 Plus, and I know I'm a little.
It's big enough as it is.
It is. When I think about it, I think, gosh, I really wouldn't want it any larger than that. And I actually initially was interested in the iPhone 10 just because I think they kind of shrinked it down just a bit, which I thought, okay, yeah, I could get behind something like that. But anything larger than that, that's going to be, to me anyway, it's going to be pretty clunky to carry around as a phone.
They're saying it's mostly going to be for like business use. Business owners who can do like split window tasking, Excel and show pictures. It's going to be more in competition with the Samsung Note.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to be more businessy phone. You're going to get it in your regular market. It's not just going to be used for business, but that's the market that they think is going to pick the phone up for the most part, because your Plus basically is going to be are going to have a bigger screen by itself. So the chassis size of your phone's not going to change, but the screen size is, because it's going to be seamless. Mm-hmm. So if you like the Plus model, I would suggest staying with the Plus model, because you're going to be used to that fitting in your pocket, but you're still going to get a bigger screen.
And that one is just going to be that one is the middle of the two. You have the one that's a smaller one. You have the one that the huge one.
Right.
But in terms of the features of the middle one will be the same as the phablet version.
Correct.
So it's not like really the only thing the phablet has over the middle one
size.
is just size.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, I mean, and there's a lot of time for them to come out with. I mean, this might not. They might put more features in it. Like, I mean, what I'm saying here, Russ, is that all this right now is just rumored. They've had 3 phones out for quite a while now. They've had the SE, the regular size 6S or 7, and then they had the 7 Plus. So they've had 3 phones out. One's getting eliminated. They're gonna have another 3 models coming out. Features are still up in the air right now. We can talk all day about what's going to come out, but until they have the meeting, it's not going to be solidified. But one thing I found interesting is that with iOS 12, that might be stripped of new features and more, but be more reliable than iOS 10 or 11 has been. Because everything since iOS 9 has been pretty buggy, to be honest.
Interesting.
I mean, there's like, even with iOS 11, if you like flick up the screen a couple times, like if you were trying to bring up the quick menu, if perhaps you didn't do that and you flicked your screen too fast on the bottom, the whole phone would just restart itself.
Oh, interesting.
So it's buggy.
Yeah.
And some folks, me included, haven't even upgraded to iOS 10 yet because of all the bugs.
Right.
So they might take a step back in features and go more towards stability for 12, which, I mean, at this point, that might be the right decision.
Well, thank you very much for that, Steve.
You're very welcome.
It's always nice to hear what all kind of the latest going-ons is going on with Apple, and I look forward to seeing what they have to do with their next conference. So,
indeed, Russ.
Well, I, for one, am very much looking forward to our topic of the day. Let's get to it! Oh yeah! So our topic of the day is the new Overwatch player, and I'm gonna totally get her name wrong. At first I thought it was Brigitte, but it's not Brigitte.
It's not Brigitte, right?
It's like Brigitte, or can you do you know
I have to see it again. It's either Brigitte or it's like Brigitte
or Brigitte. Apparently, like
Brigitte, I'm gonna cut on the head.
Everyone on the internet is trying to like pronounce it correctly, and no one can do it right. But anyway,
no one but the Swedes, because I mean, she's
that's a very
daughter,
good point.
So the Swedes would get it right.
Okay, any Swedish listeners out there, please contact us on Twitter or Facebook and let us know how we can enunciate this correctly.
Or at least we'll watch the clip about 5 dozen times and then we'll get it right.
I had it on repeat, just the origin story, and I was just over and over again when she, all of a sudden just announces her name. I'm thinking I still have no idea how to actually pronounce that correctly. So I'm going to go with just what, Brigitte,
whatever, Russ.
Call her B. How about this? We'll call her B.
Call her B.
Anyway. So this is the latest character that is in the PTR. It's widely anticipated that she will make her grand debut into the official game. What exactly are your thoughts regarding the character, Steve? I'm curious about this. I've been dying to hear your thoughts on this.
I've been holding back, I'll be honest, because I've been trying to put bugs amidst the wax in your ears about having a conversation about what I want from Overwatch. Changes that I want to see.
Lately, you've been talking a lot about the changes that you have not been too crazy about regarding Mercy.
Beyond that, though.
Yeah.
Beyond that, Russ. But one of them has been a new character. Now, I wanted the character to be a support character. And now this new character is. Mm-hmm. She seems to have some interesting abilities.
Absolutely.
We shall see. I mean, she's got... I wanted the newer character to have melee, too. Of course, but what I was thinking was, would be nice if the character had a couple of batons.
Okay.
You know, that like if you had batons and you flipped them around the other way, and so the long end was pointing out, basically.
Sure,
you know, that would be friggin' sweet. But she doesn't. She has more of like a shield and something like, she can throw out and do some damage. And
it is called a rocket flail. That's what it's called.
Sounds lightweight. No, I'm just kidding.
It sounds like what?
It sounds lightweight.
Oh. Well, so I went through some of the PTR playthroughs of it just to get an idea of what she's capable of. And so once again, her main weapon is this rocket flail. And actually it reminds me of Ivy from Soul Calibur in the sense that like it has that kind of range whip almost type of quality to it. So in addition to her rocket flail, she has a repair pack. Now, what's interesting about the repair pack is she can throw it out much like how Torbjorn throws his armor packs out. And they can heal allies. But what I think is really cool is that if your ally is already at 100% health, then it will actually give them armor. If health is at 100%. So I thought, man, that's actually kind of cool because that makes her a much more dynamic character on the battlefield because Torbjorn is used primarily for defense. Yeah, every once in a while he'll go on the offense, that sort of thing. Right. But what's interesting for her is that as a support character, she can be tossing out these little widget things of health to like keep the people close to her going. But I love the idea that if they are at 100% health and then she can just instantly give them like a Torbjorn size little bump of armor. I mean, that is just, can you imagine like having both her and Torbjorn on the same team where Torbjorn is able to like just, distribute out the shields just around the flag, for instance, if you're playing CTF or you're around the payload or whatever it is, or you're defending. So then you get your initial bump of shield from that. And then with B going out there with you, she can then pop you an additional armor pack. I mean, who's to say that it would be maxed out? And I hope that's actually one of my hopes is I hope that Blizzard doesn't max it out where like if you were to receive one from Torbjorn, then you can't get one from her. Right. I would love the idea of like, let's say you have a Symmetra on the same team as Torbjorn and B, and Symmetra puts down her shield generator, and so all of a sudden you get the X amount of shields, and then you get another boost from Torbjorn, and then you get yet another boost from B. I mean, that's going to really turn the tide.
Yeah, it might make sense they do it that way because, as I understand it, if you these characters aside for a second, if you have Orisa and Mercy on the same team, and Orisa puts down her supercharger to increase everyone's damage, and then you use Mercy to do an increase in damage on one person, right? Then that person's damage gets boosted by about 80% because you have the two stacked on one another. That's how I understand it. But I mean, they would have to. I mean, with Torbjorn, you can only get one armor pack and then it maxes itself out. But if there was something different than an armor pack, like shield or whatever it was, then it would make sense to stack it. But
yeah. Now, what's also interesting too is that she has what's called a whip shot, and it launches your flail toward like any kind of enemy, and it actually knocks the enemies away from you, which I think is also pretty cool too. Not only for yourself, but as a support unit in the field. Like if you see someone's on the verge of getting killed, like, and I'm assuming that as a support unit, she can see like the little critical notifications that come up on the characters. Whip out and do your whip shot, and suddenly you can knock that aggressor back, giving the opportunity for your ally to pull back and survive and get healed up and then move back forward again. I mean, that's actually pretty cool.
Or environmental kill.
Absolutely. Indeed. I was totally thinking about that too. I was thinking one of the things that I really enjoy at playing as Farah is when I'm up in the air and I'm able to bounce people off and
or even Lucio.
That too. Yeah. Lucio is also another one like that. Now she has a barrier shield, which is similar to Reinhardt, although it's much smaller, of course. Its main use is just pretty much for her. It's
singular use instead of,
Yeah. I mean, I suppose if you were to get like directly behind her, then of course you would have some protection there, but it's clearly not meant to be the same as like Reinhardt.
Yeah. It's probably similar to Diva in a way, but a little bit smaller than that. I mean, Diva's shield can be used for more people, but you have to be behind her.
Yeah. Now, what's also cool about the shield is that they have what's called a shield bash.
Right.
It's available when the barrier shield, of course, is deployed. But what happens is that you can dash forward to knock back and stun an enemy. And this is something that I thought was also pretty original in the sense that you can push forward, you can block and whatnot. But really, up until this point, I think McCree really only had the stun ability. I can't think of another character that has. Which move can Doom? I don't play as Doomfist.
Yeah,
so
I mean, whenever he uses one of his, like if he does his uppercut or his lower punch, or even like when he charges up and lunges at you, that stuns you for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to testing that out, just because I don't really use, like I just mentioned, I don't use Doomfist, and I don't play McCree either. They're two characters that I need to actually spend some more time with and have some TLC and really understand them. But this particular character, I don't know, I'm really digging a lot of what they've put into the gameplay mechanics. Now, she also has a passive ability, which is called Inspire. And this is what's really cool. Striking enemies with your flail heals nearby allies.
How is that possible?
So the normal attack that she does, you're literally like whipping this flail around, and you're able to strike enemies at a pretty close range. Like, it forces, that is one of the weaknesses of her character, is that she has to get in pretty close in order to attack. And especially if you're like a Reaper or something, I think that's going to be problematic for her. But the idea being that if you stay close knit as a group, and everyone's trying to push forward, every strike that you successfully land on an enemy will then, it's essentially taking away the hit points from the enemy and applying it to everyone around you.
So she doesn't replace a healer, 100%. She'd have to be, you would still want a healer with you. Like if you had a Lucio with you who would still provide healing in a small area, and you had her providing healing in a small area, then the team would be forced to kind of hang around you.
She is very much a defining support, like just the word support. To me, it's just like, wow. Like in the past, Mercy is considered a support unit, but she's a healer, right? Like
and she's weak.
She's real squishy. This is what is just, I don't know. Like, okay. So before I go any farther, so like her ultimate is called Rally, and it allows her to move faster for a temporary period of time and provide armor to nearby allies. So again, it's taking that component that actually Lucio, I think, exclusively had, where like he did his armor thing, where like he can provide that to nearby allies within a radius. Now she has that ability too. So it's really cool how like the dynamics of her character, where she's able to provide healing in these different capacities, whether it's striking with her flail, or she can just throw out one of those little healing, I don't know what you want to call them, first aid kits.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, also transfer that into armor as well. I don't know. I really like that idea. And I like the idea too of how, like with her shield, for instance, I mean, she's able to be able to provide a certain level of literally support for more of the tank characters and the more of the assault style characters. But she doesn't have to stay so far back, and she can hold her own. Like if someone tries to take her out, especially at close range. I mean, I for one am very excited to see how this character plays.
She definitely needs to be with somebody else. She needs to be with either a Reinhardt, who's also going to be close up,
right?
And that would be a good pair, or I don't know, someone else with a little more girth to them. Maybe like protecting Bastion or something. I mean, she can't go out on her own. Some of the characters you can kind of wander out a bit. And they're meant to, like Reaper you mentioned, he has his transport ability.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he can go out and do whatever. But her by herself, I don't know. I mean, she might want to stay near a Moira, for example.
Yeah,
that would be a good combo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I was thinking? Back to my wishful character.
Yes.
You know how Lucio has that ability where he can make everyone just run real fast?
Mm-hmm.
My support character, Russ, would in a sense toss out little, adrenaline packs in a sense, where you could shoot faster and you could run faster, but it would only be for certain people. Like you would throw it out to somebody and someone else would have to pick it up, and they would be able to run faster and shoot faster for a short period of time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. It'd be interesting to see if
it is a good idea. Thank you.
I'm here to throw praise your way when it's warranted, Steve. Now, there was also a origin story. Have you seen this already? I think
Yes, I have.
Okay. I saw bits and pieces of it, but I think it's appropriate to give it another watch again, if for nothing else, for us to try and pronounce her name correctly. So,
And it's on our Facebook.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you guys can all go to facebook.com/joygasmtv, and we will have the trailer there for you.
Take a little look-see.
Let's take a look.
In stories, the heroes get the honor and glory. But their gleaming armor, their mighty weapons, the people who built them were heroes in their own right. And I thought I was gonna follow in their footsteps. But a hammer and tools can't fix every problem. There are some things that can never be repaired. It's not enough to wait until the battle is over to fix their armor and bandage their wounds. If you can fight at their side, you can try to keep the blows from falling and maybe even protect them from themselves. I am Brigitte Lindholm, and I will be their shield.
Brigitte.
Brigitte?
Brigitte. I've said it totally wrong. I don't know. Wrong
Brigitte.
accent. Sure, Russ.
I don't know.
Let's just call her B.
I'm trying.
Let's just call her B.
Call it. Yeah. Hey, B. I've always loved those origin stories. I always like the 2.5D style illustrations and the animations just enough to just get you engrossed into it. And of course, we've said this several times in the past. Blizzard are masters at just storytelling.
Yeah.
Just doesn't matter what it is. I'm just by the end of it, I'm like, no, don't end. It's too soon.
Yeah. They need to bring out some of the origin stories for the remaining characters, though.
Which ones are you thinking of?
Like Symmetra, for example.
You know, that's a very good point. I don't recall Symmetra being in any of the cinematics at all.
And who else was talking about? Was Zenyatta ever in a origin story?
Well, kind of.
He was mentioned.
Well, there was one where you had Tracer and Widowmaker, and you had kind of Zenyatta's droid race, if you will, that was in there. And it was Widowmaker's target. She was able to take out some sort of prominent droid figure. And so, yeah, like in a way, he was kind of represented.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of Brigitte? Is it Brigitte? Brigitte? We'll call her B. Steve's just shaking his head.
For the sake of time.
For the sake of time. What do you think of B's look?
I think she fits in the Overwatch universe.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I think she's going to have some good skins, good costumes.
I really dig her armor. I think that the armor style is very cool. Also, one of the things I forgot to mention early on is that she has an interesting relationship with both Reinhardt and Torbjorn in the sense that B is Torbjorn's daughter.
Right.
And she is also Reinhardt's squire, which is pretty cool. Like
she was in the Reinhardt short film.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was.
I'll have to read. Are you talking about the one where he's younger? Mm-hmm. I'll have to take another gander at that. I didn't see that.
When it's him when he's in that that abandoned bar or building, the one that's in Eckenwalde. So anyway, he's reminiscing to his younger years, but telling her about it.
Really?
Yes.
I had no idea. That's actually really cool. I'll have to take a look at that again. There was also something I wanted to show you regarding B. One of my favorite artists is Art Germ. Have I?
Yes, you have.
I've actually shown you his work?
Yeah, he's impressive.
He actually recently found out about the new character and decided to do a sketch of her.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, nice side profile there. I highly recommend for all you listeners out there to check out Art Germ. He's everywhere. You can look at him on Instagram or he's on Facebook. Just a super talented artist who I've had the pleasure of meeting and being able to purchase quite a bit of his works. And so this was the black and white sketch that got started here. And actually, I'll post this on the Joygasm Facebook page and Twitter and whatnot, just so you guys can take a look at it. But then he also did a colored version right there.
Ah, snap. You know, Russ, it'd be interesting to see what another favorite artist, Jeff Herndon, might be able to compose with the Overwatch characters. You know what I mean?
That is actually a very good idea. We'll have to get in touch with old Mr. Herndon and see if I don't know. So another concept designer / illustrator. He's trained in more of the fine arts. He doesn't really do the digital thing all that often. But he's doing
old school. Let's just say it.
He is. He's all about the chalk and Conte crayon and the
he's Crayolas.
Yeah. He gets down with the other 3-year-olds and shows them a thing or two.
You know those smelly pens that smell like fruits? Yeah, he uses those.
Gets a little high off of it. His upper lip has lots of colors that are stained on there.
Smells like blueberries.
But no, I think that's a great idea. I think we should get in touch with him and see if he would be down for possibly doing something like that. And I don't know, maybe we could turn it into something. Maybe that could be the next Joygasm giveaway. I don't know.
Hey.
Might be a good thing there. But anyway, did you have any other last thoughts about Brigitte or whatever it is? B.
When's she coming out? Did they say?
I looked around. I have not found anything on that. I'm hoping. I mean, if she's in the PTR right now, I would assume that she would probably be making a debut. What, like next month?
Probably 2 months.
2 months. Yeah. Well, I hope it's sooner than later because she's a character just.
Don't jump the plasma pistol quite yet, Russ.
The plasma pistol. What?
No one uses regular bullets. Oh, actually, no, they do.
Yeah,
in the
they
game.
do.
But Diva, Mercy, Soldier 76. Yeah.
Farah
whatever.
uses rockets.
Okay, fine.
But no, just everything about her. Okay, here's the thing. I absolutely love the look of B. I think her armor is awesome. I like the relationships that she has with Torbjorn and Reinhardt. I think that's a great addition. And I, for one. What? Yeah, Dad. You told us. I also have always loved the flail weapon. Ever since, like I mentioned this earlier, like I started playing Soul Calibur, I absolutely love that whip type thing. I think that there's a lot that can be done with it. And I look forward to seeing, I think the proof for me is going to be, okay, how easy is it to be able to wield that thing? Because I could see how easily frustrated I could get just because, it's not like a gun where you have a certain amount of range that you can inflict damage. You really do have to get up close and personal. And as a result, I think she'd do really well in corridor areas, places that are not so open. But if she's not in those types of setups, then she's going to have to really rely on just being literally just that support unit for other players. And I think that's going to be okay because I, for one, have wanted a character where I could hold my own when it was necessary, but then still be a support character. Right. And I've had fun playing as Mercy here and there, but I get frustrated playing as Mercy at times because I don't have the aggressive abilities mastered with her. I feel like if I start doing that, I'll just get shot down and whatnot. And so with B, I think that there is more of that there where I think I could actually be competent as a support class character. So I don't know. I, for one, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Certainly looking forward to what kind of skins they're going to come up with in terms of the different tiers there and that sort of thing. So I really do hope that they just continue making more and more characters. Because, as each one gets released, it just makes more and more of a rich environment for people to be able to choose various characters for. So did you have any last words on that there, Steve?
Well, my last word made you go on a marathon there, Russ. So, no, I'm good.
Well, I think that wraps up this particular episode of Joygasm. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Be sure to check out patreon.com/Joygasm and subscribe to get the most out of the show. Also, you can follow us on social media and YouTube. Just do a search for Joygasm TV. In addition to iTunes and Android, you can listen to our podcast on TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.com/Joygasm TV. Last but not least, search Joygasm TV on Twitch to see us stream our gaming adventures live. What is it, Steve?
9:30 on the dot. Never late.
And what time zone?
Central time zone, Russ.
That's correct, Steve. You get a cookie.
Hope this one doesn't crack my tooth like the last one did.
All you have to do is go on to Twitch. It's literally twitch.tv/Joygasm TV, and you'll find us right there. All hot and bothered. Ready to play some Overwatch. And
Actually,
we play other games too, but Overwatch is definitely our mainstay.
We haven't played Cuphead in a while.
You are very correct. We need to continue playing. We're on the third world. We need to put that to bed.
It's true.
We need to beat that game. So, anyway, we'll see you next time.
See ya.